The Empire's Dead Zone. Why winning the war meant losing to fiberglass ghosts. Chapter 1. The Three-Knot Lifeline. At this very moment, beneath the waves of the Persian Gulf, the pulse of the global economy has been throttled to 3 knots, about 3.5 miles per hour, the pace of a slow jog. 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the USS Frank E. Peterson, Jr. and the USS Michael Murphy, are creeping through the water, trailing hundreds of feet of sonar cable like giants treading on eggshells. They aren't cruising, they are hunting. Behind them, 150 very large crude carriers, or VLCs, sit like stationary metal islands anchored in the Gulf of Oman, burning through an estimated $1 billion per day in idle rent and fuel costs. A ceasefire was signed in Islamabad this April, but for these destroyers, that document is a dead letter. A treaty can bind a soldier's hand, but it cannot turn off an autonomous bomb on the seafloor. Chapter 2. An Erased Map. Chaos as a Weapon. Why can't Washington simply demand a minefield map through diplomatic channels? The answer is chilling. Iran doesn't have one. During the height of the March conflict, the IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Corps, didn't use professional mine layers. Instead, they utilized hundreds of civilian speedboats to scatter mines like seeds under the cover of darkness and electronic jamming. No GPS coordinates were logged, no grid numbers recorded, and no mine-laying journals kept. It was a scorched earth maritime strategy. If I lose control of the sea, I will make the sea untouchable for everyone. Even if Tehran wanted to cooperate now, they could only shrug. Over the past 30 days, tidal currents have dragged those mines far from their drop points. This is no longer about clearing a known minefield. It is a search for thousands of magnetically invisible and acoustically silent ghosts across 42 square nautical miles of vertical water space. Chapter 3. The Maham-7, a nightmare designed for bankruptcy. The star of this crisis is the Maham-7 bottom influence mine. This isn't a vintage iron sphere. Its casing is made of high-strength fiberglass and reinforced plastic. Physical stealth. The fiberglass produces zero magnetic field distortion, rendering advanced magnetometers, the primary tool for detecting metal, completely useless. The logic trap. It features a ship counter. A U.S. sweep system can simulate the acoustic signature of a destroyer. The mine records 1, but stays silent. It might be programmed to detonate only on the 6th detection. Acoustic equilibrium. It lies flat in the silt at depths of 89 to 164 feet, using sophisticated sensors to filter out wave noise, waiting only for the specific low-frequency vibration of a 300,000-ton tanker. U.S. sweepers pass over a sector once, twice, 3 times. No explosion. But that doesn't mean safety. It might just mean the mine is waiting for target number 4. This uncertainty is a psychological weapon far more effective than the explosive itself. Chapter 4. A $22 billion gamble, the missing professionals. The most ironic detail? In September 2025, just 6 months before the crisis, the U.S. Navy decommissioned its entire fleet of 4 Avenger-class specialized mine countermeasure ships forward deployed in the Gulf. The Peterson is a $2.2 billion high-tech guided missile destroyer. It carries the ALMDS laser system and Archerfish kill drones, but it is fundamentally a surface combatant. Imagine sending a world-class surgeon in a bespoke suit into a mud-filled, collapsing mine tunnel to disarm a bomb with a scalpel. Lasers only see the upper water column. To find a deep Maham-7, a destroyer must tow sonar at low speeds. At 3 knots, this billion-dollar asset becomes a sitting duck for any remaining shore-based missiles or rogue submarines. Chapter 5. Physics versus Economy. Diplomacy. The physical environment of the Strait of Hormuz is a sonar operator's nightmare. Because the water is shallow and the sea floor is rugged, sound waves bounce between the surface and the bottom, creating intense acoustic reverberation. This fills sonar screens with clutter and false images. Systems that achieve a 90% detection probability in the deep ocean drop to 60 to 70% here. This means that even if the Peterson declares a lane cleared, the confidence level is never 100%. The 1987 lesson. During Operation Earnest Will, after the Navy swept a route, the 400,000-ton tanker Bridgerton still struck a missed mine. U.S. warships were then forced to sail behind the damaged tanker, using the civilian ship as a human shield. In 2026, history is repeating itself. Only this time, the mines are 100 times smarter than they were in 1987. Chapter 6. The Soldiers Who Never Surrender. The most haunting logic of this war is that mines do not recognize ceasefires. The politicians signed the papers in April, but the Maham-7 has no radio receiver, no chain of command, and no need for food or sleep. It is a block of explosive and a logic chip at the bottom of the sea.
If sufficient displacement passes overhead, detonate. Even if there is world peace, even if the U.S. and Iran restore ties, that mine will faithfully execute the last order it received: destroy the next giant that passes. Chapter 7. The Market's Final Verdict. Is the war over? The politicians say yes, the generals say yes, but the insurance brokers at Lloyd's of London say not yet. The war truly ends only when the first fleet of tankers can transit for a month with 0 incidents, when premiums drop from $5 million back to normal, and when oil falls from $126. The U.S. won the air campaign and crushed the Iranian Navy, but in the dark silt of the sea floor, the fiberglass ghosts left behind by Iran still rule the world's energy throat. The Peterson is still moving at 3 knots. Until it finds the very last mine, peace is just an expensive hallucination.